Hi, mathematicians. In this first problem, let's start off by looking at the starting point. So in the situation, it says that Rachel only had $20 in her account. And then it goes on to talk about what she spent, which we'll get to in a minute. So I want to look for the number line that has a starting point of positive $20. And so I can see that option A starts at 20 and then it moves in a particular direction, which we'll talk about, what that means in a minute. But A is a possibility because it starts at 20. And C is also a possibility because it starts at 20 and then moves in another direction. So even though B and D like start at a number and they end up at 20. So same thing here. Starts at negative 15, ends up at 20. So that's why we know that B and D are not going to be the right ones. So I'm going to scratch those out so I can focus. And so it says she spent $20 at the movies and then another $15 for a snack afterwards. So if she spent $20, then what happened to the balance in her account? Well, it's going to go down $20, right? It'll be a negative 20. And we know from our lessons last week that negative or taking away money, this could really mean either thing. You could look at it as you're taking away $20, or you can say you're doing a negative 20. It really means the same thing. And in both cases, we go to the left when we're talking about a negative. So both A and C do go negative, but option C is the only one that has two events, because there's actually two events happening here, right? The first thing was she spent 20, and then she spent another 15 for a snack later, which we know would be a negative 15. So we would be going 15 to the left as well, because once again, we're taking away or saying a negative 15. So the only one that has those two separate transactions shown here is option C, because you can see it starts at 20 and then it went to the left and we went 5, 10, 15, $20 to the left, which is represented by that first arrow at negative 20. And then we went, once we got there, then we went another 5, 10, 15. So another 15 to the left. So option C shows both of those transactions, whereas option A just shows one big long, like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. It shows the same amount of money coming out, but it only shows one long, like one big transaction of negative 35. So that is why in this particular situation, we are going to choose option C. So we need to make sure that we choose C for this first part. And so the second question builds on that first question. So taking the real life situation out of it, so she started off with 20, and then we took away 20, and then we took away 15. So how much money did she have in her account after that? So I'm going to go back to that option C. So we started off with 20, and then we went minus 20, which got us to 0, because you can. And then we went another minus 15, which got us right here at negative 15. So that means that 20 minus 15, we're just going to type in that answer box, is going to be negative 15. For our next problem, it starts off with Jay Sean having $40 in his account. So actually, we can kind of see the only one that even has a starting point of 40 is going to be right there at positive 40, because none of the other number lines even start at negative 40. But let's make sure that this one still like has everything that we need just to make sure that we're not wrong. So it said that a hacker withdrew $80. So when you withdraw money from your account, that is taking away $80, which is going to be going to the left. So you can see here that it did go to the left $80. This first little arrow shows that we started at 40 and then we did go to the left $80 because we went from 40, so it was 20, 40, 60, 80, right? So that took us to the negative 80. Oops, sorry. Just did that a little messy. That got us there. So then it says he had fraud protection. So the bank took away the $80 withdrawal. Okay. So they take away, which is a minus, and they took away that negative 80. So what they really did was minus a negative 80. They took away a negative, which what happens when you take away a negative? That's really the same thing as adding. They basically just put that $80 back. So after we took away the 80, you can see here that we're going back in the other direction where they put the 80 back. So that's another reason that option A is the correct answer. So make sure we put A. And then last but not least, so what is 40 minus 80 minus a negative 80? Okay, so again, we started out at 40. We took away 80, like we went to the left 80, but we took away that negative 80, which means we really just went back plus 80. So that means we're right there at the 40 where we started. So your answer that you should put here is 40.